Welcome to Unmodded Gaming. I'm the Unmodded Gamer, and today we are playing City Skylines. And before we get started, I just quickly want to say that this is something I'm pretty good at, I'd say. But unlike in City Skyline, in Prison Architect, I cannot actually choose to get unlimited money. Well, you can, but you have to use a mod for that. And I don't use mods. So I'm gonna have to do it without infinite money. Now I would like to make a little challenge for myself, because I've heard that it can be quite difficult to play City Skylines properly without using mods. So the challenge that I have for myself is to make a let's play without mods, and if I fail, like for example if the traffic gets too bad, which it can be quite soon, but we'll get to that, then I have to stop. Or if something else happens, if I run out of money maybe. But anyway, for this one I'll use a map that's big enough to build on, maybe like 2 rivers or Grand River. I don't know. Maybe 2 rivers would be better. And we'll call this city Edge. Hold up. Edge City. If you've ever watched The Mask, you know what city that is. And of course, we start with right-handed traffic. You can also select left-handed traffic here, but we're not gonna do that because I don't live in Britain. Okay, so let's get started then. Right, so it is loaded. I'll turn this off. I'll get rid of this notification as well. And then we can get started. So, first things first. I'm going to build a small road. Thank you, I don't need that tip. I've played this before. And as you can see right now, all the other roads are locked. But they become unlocked as soon as you build the first piece of road right there. So let's just go ahead and demolish that road. We'll get money back for it. And now we can start building our main road for this city. Now, I think this spot is a bit difficult to work with, seeing as to how it's in the corner and as to how there is like this line which indicates the city limit. So we can't build at that part of the line, we have to stay inside of this square. So what I will do maybe is something like this with a 2-lane one-way road and that notification, you can just ignore that. Right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to the curved roads, and I'm gonna say like this. And I'm going to try and build a roundabout. It won't be perfect, but you know, I do my best on it. Right, you know what? I'll just go ahead and demolish that. Then I'll build this, maybe like this, I don't know. Yeah, something like that. And then I'll just finish it like that. It's almost triangular. Or not triangular, it's almost square. It's got a weird shape to it, but anyway. Let me just go ahead and do something like this. Or, you know what, let's just make a straight road. Like that. Then we'll have one way to enter the city and one way to exit the city. Now what I want to do is get some zoning in here, but before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and go to the electrical things and put in a wind turbine. And here you can actually see how much electricity you will generate when you put your windmills in a certain place. Like for example here, it only gets 5 megawatts an hour, whereas when I put it here, it's 7 megawatts an hour. So the darker a color is, the more it can get. And here is a little something I found out about. People generally don't like using windmills in this game, but I actually do, because here on the shore you can see that there's a lot more wind you can catch. Like over here it's 4 megawatts, even down to 3 megawatts, but up here it's up to 8 megawatts an hour. So I'll just put one in right here, and a water pumping station whilst we're at it. Now, one thing you have to watch for when you do this is that the river flows in a certain direction, and we don't want people to drink sewage water or dirty water, because we also have a sewage pipe that we can connect up to, and that can dump the sewage of the city into the river. And when we do something like this and make the water pumping station pump up dirty water, it's gonna get the citizens sick. So you have to pay attention to the water flow, to what direction it is flowing at. So you want to put the sewage pipe downstream from the water pumping station. So I'll just go ahead and do, let me see, yeah, I'll just do something like, I don't want them too far apart because Then you're gonna need a lot of water pipes, and that's gonna get pretty expensive. So I'm gonna do something like this. Hold up. Am I doing it right? No, I'm not. This is the water drain pipe. Right. So, like I said, something like this. And now we can connect this up. And we have to be careful where we put it. And now we'll just go further as kind of one pipe. Because now we have connected the water sewage pipe and the other water pipe. And that may sound bad, but it really isn't. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but the blue line is when there are buildings spawning in. Within the blue line, they'll actually be connected to the water. So I'll just go ahead and run another pipe down here, so to make sure that everything there is covered. And one other thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put power lines running from here to there. And that's another reason we had to put our sewage pipe a little bit closer to the water pumping station, because now there don't need to be such a long connection between the water sewage pipe and the water drain pipe, which is right next to the electricity, or well, the windmill, as you can see. Now we just need to put in some zoning. And one thing I've learned is that you mustn't put buildings near a roundabout, or else there will be a traffic jam on the roundabout. So I'll just go ahead and do it like this for now, and maybe we can put in a 2-lane one-way road, maybe like that for now will do, I think, or maybe a little bit longer, something like this, or this. It doesn't really matter all that much, but anyway, I'll put in some more zoning, and I'll make sure they have water, which for the most part they have, but not completely, so I'll just put in some more water pipes here. Now, one thing that is very important is to manage. I'll put the game, or I'll pause the game when I speak to you guys, because it's a little bit easier. But one thing that is something we have to watch for is that we don't go over our budget, because that's part of the challenge. Now, I didn't put in the electricity line, the power lines yet, because I didn't know where the first people would start living. But now I do, so I can just do it like this. And similar to the water pipes that I showed you earlier, you can actually see where there's electricity by looking at the blue zone that is there, and it will actually increase as there will be more houses or buildings where people can live or work. And you know, it's not always gonna be right. Sometimes you're gonna have to build it like that so that it can still get electricity, but you know, for now this is good. So now we have done the beginning of it. That is the water right here and the electricity. Now I'll turn the game on again so that we can see that people are actually getting electricity and water. As you can see, there's still some problems, but they're resolved right now. And now you just have to wait for more people to start living here. We also have a new zone, by the way, or several new zones. Low density zones, industrial zones, and or low density commercial zones, and the low density residential zones that I showed you earlier. And you can also see where there is a demand for. Like for example, right now there's a high demand for residential zones, but I've taken care of that. There's a low demand for low residential or low commercial zones, I should say. And there's a low demand or medium demand for industry or offices, which is slightly rising. I may have to think of something for that, but not yet. We're still doing okay. And as you can see, the demand for low density residential zones has also dropped to the medium range. So we don't have much to do right now. We're just going to have to wait for the demands to rise, and then we can build further. Also, that is something I'm worried about right now. We are getting more citizens, which is over 175 right now, but we are losing over $500, I think, per day. I don't know really, but we are losing money, as you can see right there. So that's something we are gonna have to do something about. And maybe if I go to economy, we can ask taxes. No, that is not something we can do yet. We have to reach a population of 420 for that. But anyway, our commercial zone and industry or offices demands are rising, so I'll just make sure that gets covered. So I'll do something like this, I think. Or maybe like, yeah, let's just do it like this. And I'll put in some industrial zones. Now, the people living here will not be happy about that, but nobody lives there yet, so I'll just dezone that for a sec and put in some commercial zones. What I will also do is I'll put in another way here, and I'll make even more room for industrial zones. And of course, I'm going to make sure that everyone has water. Let me just see down here as well. And how is electricity? Okay, so they may need some more electricity lines, but that's not a lot. So as you can see, the demands for industries and offices is falling again. So is the demand for commercial zone. But yeah, it's still manageable. So we can now take a second and look at our village and at the traffic. And I think this looks really neat, by the way. Really nice. Just the level of detail that is there to every single shadow that you see. And we are back in the positives with our money now, by the way, which is good. We are making $96, I don't know, per day maybe, per month, per week. I just have no idea. And we don't have much unlocked yet, but that will become available soon, because we are getting more than 40 people who come to live in Edge City. And you know, maybe I can add in, I can't think of the name, but hang on, let me just look that up real quick. Right, I'm back with you guys, and maybe we can put in, what I was looking for was Landfill Park. That would be fun. Maybe we can put it on an old landfill site as well. Now, as you can see right here, we don't really need these power lines anymore, because here the blue zone continues. And people are getting electricity here. Where we do need power lines, however, is over here, because this is kind of an awkward spot, because there aren't really yeah, people aren't really covered there, it looks like. So I'll just go ahead and destroy all this. And then I'll put down, come on, something like this, so that they have electricity too. And let me see what the problem is there. The ice cube factory has not enough workers, so what I can do then is just build some more places for people to live. So I'll just go ahead and put down another road with some more water pipes like that, and maybe some electricity, some power lines. That would be convenient, although I don't know where people are gonna live yet, so I can wait with that. Also, I forgot to zone it, so people won't come if you don't zone it. Wow, the ice cube factory wasn't the first one to have a lack of employees. Literally every other business in this city has the same problem, which is something I have encountered a lot when playing this. I also have a lack of power, but they are covered, which means that I'm going to have to increase the power by adding in a second windmill, which, yeah, it is fine for now, but maybe we'll someday get something else to make electricity. And just so that you guys know, I'm better at Prison Architect than City Skylines. But anyway, we have done the basic stuff. I'll just add in some power lines like this, so they have electricity too. So I've done the basics. I don't know why people still don't have a job. Maybe I need to get them to a school. We have also gotten our first milestone, but I'll talk about that in the next episode, because this video is getting long enough. This was the Unmodded Gamer. Thanks for watching, and stay unmodded.